in front of those people I messed. When I started, I panicked. First sentence was panic, and then the chief guest comes to the stage and he says, "Nobody is expecting you to have expert level knowledge," and won the best paper presenter at a national conference of ICAI. If your goal is to get into industrial training, I would recommend getting into Big Four, Big Six. वो कौन सा डोमेन है वो जो लोग मैक्सिमम चूज करते हैं. People are doing indirect tax are not people who are interested in indirect tax. Most of the times attempts इसलिए लगते हैं क्योंकि people are not able to finish their syllabus. They come to you and they feel you're studying all day, you're such a nerd. Doesn't matter if you're not doing great, it's fine. Give yourself some time. Don't judge and don't quit. Hello everyone. This is Sathwik Prabhu. So I'm a CA finalist, having cleared my CA foundation with 342 out of 400 and CA intermediate with 532 out of 800 with exemptions in all 8 subjects. I have completed my articleship just last month in indirect tax domain. Mine was the new scheme of 2-year articleship. And during my articleship, I have explored everything that ICAI has to offer outside of articleship. So in the first year of articleship, into I was participating in events as an audience. And in the second year of articleship, I decided to become a part of the organizing committee. So I became a part of that and I conducted a lot of events. And then I served the role of Vice President of SICASA Speakers Forum. This was a subcommittee of SICASA, Bangalore, wherein we used to conduct speakers meets on every Sunday. And then my articleship has been entirely into indirect taxes because I wanted to specialize in indirect taxes. I've done my articleship in indirect tax. During my articleship, specifically in the second year, I've explored ICAI National Talent Search, paper presentations, having reached the national level in ICAI National Talent Search and won the best paper presenter at a national conference of ICAI. So I think that is a brief
That is
introduction.
quite impressive profile that you have created in last, I guess, 3 years. So starting
Thank you.
from the foundation, how you prepared for what was your strategy for the foundation and how you scored such a good mark?
Okay. So I had taken maths in my 11th and 12th. तो उसके वजह से foundation was comparatively easier क्योंकि my maths revision was done along with my 11th and 12th. So math is one of those subjects which people find very difficult in CA foundation. But maths has always been my strength, so maths was not the problem. The only problem maybe was law, and I had done my foundation along with my 12th. So I had to manage both my 12th and my CA foundation. The good thing was the coaching for CA foundation was given by my own institute. I mean, the place from where I was doing my 12th. So they used to conduct tests very regularly. So even if we had not studied, we used to give those tests because we were forced to give those tests. And because of those tests helped me to uh, be in that exam environment. And even without a lot of preparation, with just 2-3 months of preparation, I was able to score 342 out of 400. And the key thing to take away from this is that for any level of CA exam, be it CA Foundation, Intermediate, or CA Final, it is important that we put ourselves in a pressure situation. When we put ourselves in a pressure situation, in an environment where we give tests, where we are accountable to someone, we can draw better results out of ourselves. अगर आप कंपेयर करोगे अपना सीए जर्नी अलोंग टू योर स्कूलिंग जर्नी तो स्कूलिंग में कैसा था यू आर लॉक्ड विद इन 4 कॉर्नर्स ऑफ अ रूम और जो टीचर आता था वो पढ़ा के जाता था एंड यू आर फोर्स्ड टू स्टडी यू आर फोर्स्ड टू डू होमवर्क यू आर फोर्स्ड टू कम एंड गिव टेस्ट बट अभी ज़्यादातर हम लोग ऑनलाइन ही करते हैं सीए को तो व्हेन वी आर डूइंग सीए ऑनलाइन वी आर नॉट अंडर प्रेशर नोबडी इज फोर्सिंग अस टू डू एनीथिंग इसकी वजह से डिस्ट्रैक्शन होता है और पीपल गेट डाइवर्टेड फ्रॉम देयर स्टडीज जिसकी वजह से अटेम्प्ट्स लगते हैं मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम्स अटेम्प्ट्स इसलिए लगते हैं क्योंकि पीपल आर नॉट able to finish their syllabus. So if you put yourself in that environment where you're forced to do things like forced to give tests, etc., then you can draw out much better performance out of yourself. तो हमें ये कोशिश करना चाहिए कि when we are on ourselves, when we are studying by ourselves, it is important that we put ourselves in this pressure situation so that the best comes out of us.
ओके, वेरी नाइस स्ट्रैटेजी। आफ्टर दैट आपने जो जो ज्वाइन किया है आर्टिकलशिप अपना कोर जीएसटी डोमेन में, what why you joined for GST and क्या उसका ग्रोथ प्रोस्पेक्ट है आपके अकॉर्डिंग?
ओके, मैं आई विल गिव दिस आंसर इन टू वेज. तो पहली बात, डिमांड एंड सप्लाई. सो इफ आई आस्क यू, you have your friends, so what is the domain, if they're choosing to specialize in a particular domain, वो कौन सा डोमेन है वो जो लोग मैक्सिमम चूज करते हैं?
स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट।
स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट. तो टॉप में आता है स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट, उसके बाद इंटरनल ऑडिट. तो स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट एंड इंटरनल ऑडिट दे अब्सॉर्ब मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स. मेनी ऑफ देम चूज टू डू इट फ्रॉम मिड साइज फर्म्स. तो उसके बाद जो बचे कुचे लोग हैं who have some interest towards tax, they may go to towards direct tax because डायरेक्ट टैक्स ज्यादा इंटरेस्टिंग लगता है. तो जीएसटी की तरफ कोई आता नहीं है, तो इसके वजह से the supply is very less. But GST being a new law, demand is very much. So demand is very high, but supply is very less, and you have very little competition. Because of which you will be a very unique person if you are specializing in indirect tax. And in fact, indirect tax में अगर मैं देखूँ in my articleship firm or most of the places, people are doing indirect tax are not people who are interested in indirect tax. They're doing indirect tax because they did not get anything else. And so the passionate people who are interested in indirect tax is very less compared to the demand it has. So if I were to compare direct tax and indirect tax, direct tax is a settled law. So although direct tax code वगैरह आया है, it is basically the old wine in a new bottle. It is the same thing, revamped and given again. So direct tax के sections वगैरह they have been tested by the Supreme Court, by the High Courts. So interpretation freeze हो चुका है. But GST is a new law and amendments are coming every now and then. And there are very few Supreme Court judgments, which means the interpretation of law is not frozen. So I can have my interpretation, you can have your interpretation, someone else can have his own interpretation, and we all can debate together. So this being a new law, there are a lot of opportunities. The law is changing every day and the demand is less. So that was the main reason why I decided to get into indirect tax. The other reason would be my personal reason. So my dad is a practicing chartered accountant. So although I was inclined towards finance, मुझे M&A tax करना था, मुझे कोई finance role में join करना था because I was passionate towards finance. But all of a sudden मेरा plan सब कुछ change हो गया and I decided to do indirect tax because in a casual conversation with my dad, he just told me that if you do indirect tax, it will be beneficial for us because in our area where our firm is there are very few indirect tax consultants. So every time we get a case, we have to refer that case to Bangalore because there are very few consultants. So he told me that if you can master indirect tax, it would help our practice very much. So I thought I'll do indirect tax now and anything else that I want to explore like finance, M&A tax, etc. I would do that after my qualification. So मैंने सोचा अभी के लिए I'll master indirect tax and after that I will get into other things. So my goal in my articleship was I should be the go-to person for indirect tax. I want to be the household name for indirect tax. So that was my aim when I got into indirect tax, and it has gone really well. I have finished my articleship also now.
Even I start in my starting of the articleship joined in indirect taxation, but I switched to a mid-sized firm where I am now getting the mixed domain exposure. सो
Okay.
अच्छा लगता है काम करके, काफ़ी सारे केस लॉज आते हैं, इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ें होती हैं इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेशन में. बट
जी.
ये इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेशन बाई चांस है, चॉइस नहीं है. इसके बाद में जब आप इंटरमीडिएट क्लियर करते हो, नाउ यू कंप्लीट योर ITOC ट्रेनिंग, इसके बाद में एक चीज़ आती है आर्टिकलशिप के लिए कि अप्लाई करना लोग स्टार्ट कर देते हैं. लिंक्डइन पे मेल आते हैं, कमेंट डाउन लिंक, दे सेंड टू लिंक इन योर DM, बहुत सारी चीज़ें चलती हैं. तो ये स्ट्रगल जो रहता है, तो इसको आप कैसे मैनेज करोगे कि आप एक अच्छी फर्म अपने लिए डिसाइड कर पाओ? उसका क्या क्राइटेरिया रहेगा? और जो टॉप फर्म में, जैसे आप बहुत सारे लोगों के साथ कनेक्टेड हैं जो टॉप फर्म में हैं अभी, तो वो लोग वहाँ तक कैसे पहुँचते हैं? सिंपलेस्ट वे, अगर एक कोई एवरेज कैंडिडेट है, ही इज़ नॉट ए हाई प्रोफाइल कैंडिडेट, तो वो कैसे पहुँच सकता है वहाँ तक?
It is always good that you get into a big firm, है ना? So if you get into big four or big six, it is always going to benefit you in one or the other way. You will develop your presentation skills, you get to experience the corporates, etc. So you should definitely try to get into big fours, big six, or the top mid-sized firms because you will get the highest level of exposure. बट एट द सेम टाइम अगर आपको पता है कि ये फर्म है इन माई लोकेलिटी और इन माई नियर बाई सिटी विच प्रोवाइड्स वेरी गुड एक्सपोजर, and the level of exposure you get in that firm is not comparable to anything else. At least you know that this firm will give you some good amount of exposure. So there'll be firms, if you are aware of such firms, you can definitely try getting into those firms, because Big Four में Big Six में क्या होता है, it depends on your team. If your team is really good, then you get to learn a lot of things. But if your team is bad, then you will regret throughout your articleship. So that is one thing. Big Four में uncertainty ज़्यादा है. Although you get the name, you get the fame, all that, but at the end of the day, what did you learn out of your articleship? So it is very difficult to know before your articleship, before you get into Big Four, what team you will be put into and what kind of work exposure you get. So I know many friends जिन्होंने Big Four में statutory audit में articleship किया, and throughout their articleship they only worked for one company. उस one company के भी only one area they had handled. So that is not a great exposure for a 2 years of articleship. So given that, अगर आपको पता है कि there is some firm which is giving you very good level of exposure in your chosen domain, or if you want to do it in multiple domains, then you should definitely go for that firm, because you have certainty. But then if you are not aware of any such firm, then you should definitely try Big Fours. Try your luck. If you're put into a good team, you'll definitely learn a lot. And even if you're put into a bad team, you will learn other things other than technical knowledge, how to deal with toxic people, how to deal with toxic managers, etc. उसके बाद if your goal is to get into industrial training, I would recommend getting into Big Fours, Big Six, because if you want to get into industrial training, generally those companies prefer people who've done articleship in the biggest of the firms. So if you've done an articleship in Big Four or Big Six, then there are higher chances of you getting selected for industrial training. तो अगर वो गोल है तो बिग फोर जाना सही रहेगा. So depending on the goal, what you want, you have to make your own choice. So I decided to get into a firm which specializes in indirect tax instead of going to Big Four. So the firm where I did my articleship was a top mid-sized firm, and I knew that this particular firm will give me good level of exposure because I had some relative who had worked in that firm. Now, getting into Big Four was uncertainty. I didn't know how much exposure they will give. So I decided to take a wise decision and get into this firm. And I'm grateful for that I joined this firm and I got the level of exposure I wanted. So accordingly, you should decide what you want. Of course, it's very difficult to decide in the beginning, and if you have no clue, I would suggest just get the email IDs of the HRs. If you research on LinkedIn, you will definitely get the email IDs of the HR of that particular company, and you can cold email those HR email IDs. And then, if it is a firm which has its own website, you can go to the website of that firm and see if there is any place where you can apply for articleship. So I think Reddit is a good place other than LinkedIn, where you can get some insider information of different firms, because Reddit में gossips ज़्यादा चलते हैं, so you will get the bad feedback of firms on Reddit as well. So it is your own journey. Ultimately, you will never be able to know whether the choice you are making is good or not. मुझे भी नहीं पता था कि getting into indirect tax firm मुझे benefit देगा या नहीं. अभी भी नहीं पता कि जो मैंने articleship किया है, if it was the best decision I had taken. I still don't know, and you will never know. So after a point of time, it is you should go with your gut. जो भी तुम्हारा gut बोलता है कि ये करो वो करो, go with it. It may go in your favor or not, but that does not matter. It's important that you take the first step, and you have this is just your articleship. You have your entire life to decide.
आपने आर्टिकलशिप कर ली आपने सिकासा कब ज्वाइन करा?
तो एक स्मॉल क्लैरिफिकेशन, मैंने सिकासा ज्वाइन नहीं किया. तो बैंगलोर में क्या है, देयर इज समथिंग कॉल्ड स्पीकर्स फोरम. So this speakers forum is a forum under SICASA. So, and every Sunday we have a meet, like just like Toastmasters Club, if you have heard of. So these meets are for improving the speaking skills and English skills of the students participating. So every Sunday को 2 घंटे का meet होता था, and in that meet you can come and improve your English speaking skills and your presentation skills, speaking skills, etc. Where we used to conduct different events where your prepared speaking skills, your extempore skills, your PPT presentation skills, all of these are tested, and you get to do this every Sunday for free, and it used to be there for 2 hours every day. So initially क्या हुआ था, मुझे भी जाना था because I'm fond of public speaking, मुझे भी public speaking करना था, but आई वॉज ऑलवेज प्रोक्रास्टिनेटिंग क्योंकि संडे सुबह को था 8:30 को 10:30, 8:30 से 10:30, तो संडे हम लोग सब लोगों को सोने का मन करता है, उठना बहुत डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है। इसकी वजह से आई कुडंट अटेंड द सिकासा स्पीकर्स फोरम फॉर 1 year। आई वॉज प्रोक्रास्टिनेटिंग। देन वन डे आई डिसाइडेड दैट आई विल गो टुडे। दैट डे आई वेंट and I really liked the platform. And then suddenly they released a poster of candidates who want to apply for the committee which runs the SICASA Speakers Forum. तो मैंने सोचा if I become a part of the committee, I'll become responsible. उसके वजह से I'll start attending consistently. So what I did, I applied for it. I got the role of vice president. So because of this role, I had to attend every Sunday, and because of that, I attended some 2022 meets after that. So 22 Sundays I've been there, and I have polished my speaking skills, and that has been really good. So as such, I did not join the main SICASA committee. I wanted to organize events and do things for a platform that focuses on speaking skills, and I decided to become the vice president of SICASA Speakers.
ओके, बट समहाउ यू गेट द सेम टाइप ऑफ एक्सपोजर, लाइक अगर सिकासा ज्वाइन करते तो वहाँ पे भी आपको इवेंट ऑर्गेनाइज करना पड़ता, तो कहीं पे कुछ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी मिली और आपको उसका बेनिफिट है, तो वो
Yeah.
सेम ही चीज।
So other than my own personal development, मेरा personal development भी हुआ. My speaking skills got improved and my confidence improved. क्योंकि every time I used to stand in front of 20, 30, 40 people and deliver presentations, meet random people, network with them. So every Sunday was a challenge for me, and I developed myself personally, and I was also able to contribute to the Sikasa forum, and I've helped different people improve their speaking skills as well. So you don't just improve yourself, you expand your network, and you also help your network grow along with you. So I would definitely recommend everyone to get into get into CASA, because it will give you a lot of advantages. So whether you want to whether you want to join as a committee member, or as an audience, depends on you. If you join as a committee member, there is more responsibility, more accountability, but at the same time more work as well. So you need to see if you're able to manage it with your articleship. If you're able to manage with your articleship, then well and good. Otherwise, if you feel that it is going to become very hectic, then you can decide to attend as an audience as well.
अभी पिछले कुछ दिनों में अंकित जैन का भी पॉडकास्ट करा था, जो अभी यहाँ पे निकासा में है दिल्ली में, तो उन्होंने भी काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें शेयर करी कि काफ़ी सारे बेनिफिट्स रहते हैं इसको ज्वाइन करने के। सो आई मिस्ड वन क्वेश्चन, अगर कोई टारगेट कर रहा है स्पेसिफिकली जीएसटी डोमेन, तो इंटरव्यू के लिए व्हाट क्वेश्चन शुड ही प्रिपेयर, लाइक टॉपिक्स
Okay.
वाइज, विच टॉपिक जनरली आस्क्ड इन इंटरव्यू आईडीटी डोमेन?
Okay. Generally, they expect you to have some conceptual knowledge of some conceptual provisions like supply, time of supply, value of supply, place of supply, input tax credit, registration. So initial 25 sections, and then place of supply provisions from IGST Act. So if you मास्टर दीज प्रोविजंस, जस्ट आपको क्या करना है, आपको अपना इंटरमीडिएट का जो भी रिवीजन वीडियो है, यू कैन वॉच द रिवीजन वीडियोस, मैराथन वीडियोस ऑफ योर रेस्पेक्टिव फैकल्टीज, and if you're having some foundational knowledge, that is well and good. Nobody is expecting you to have expert level knowledge, but you should know some basics of supply, and the other provision that I just listed.
ओके ओके, नेक्स्ट कमिंग टू द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पास, you have also participated in national talent search, so what was the story of that?
Okay, so two things: national research or paper presentations.
जैसे
I feel they are hidden from everyone.
हम्म,
काफी लोगों को पता ही नहीं होता है कि ये क्या होता है.
किसी को
तो
पता भी
आई एम
है, दे डोंट नो हाउ टू गेट इनटू दीज थिंग्स।
या तो एंड ऐसा भी होता है कि some branches they don't post that much, तो उसको the person who is doing articleship in that branch, he will not get to know whether that branch has recently done any event or not. तो इसमें क्या हुआ, आई एम अ चेस प्लेयर, सो आई एम अ नेशनल लेवल चेस प्लेयर. तो आई वॉज पैशनेट अबाउट चेस, एंड मैंने देखा कि आईसीआई सिकासा बैंगलोर ने एक चेस कंपटीशन ऑर्गेनाइज किया है. मुझे पता भी नहीं था कि इट वाज अंडर आईसीआई नेशनल टैलेंट सर्च. आई जस्ट वेंट देयर, आई वन दैट कंपटीशन, एंड देन दे टोल्ड मी दैट यू विल बी गोइंग टू चेन्नई फॉर रीजनल लेवल. When I went to the regional level, I met people from different backgrounds, क्योंकि regional level में there were not just chess, दूसरे कॉम्पिटिशन्स भी थे, लाइक पेपर प्रेजेंटेशन, extempore, sketching. So different winners of different branches from the entire southern region had come to Chennai, and these are the best of the minds because they are winners of all the branches. So I got to network with them, interacted with them, and that time I realized how how much of benefits you can derive from ICA National Talent Search. So National Talent Search basically क्या होता है? In every branch, a regional level, so a branch level competition will be conducted. So competitions are many. There are around 12 events which are conducted throughout the year, like chess, paper presentation, instrumental music, sketching, etc. So these will be conducted throughout the year in different phases. Like first cycle में तीन चार competitions होंगे, next cycle में तीन चार. It also includes pitch deck, quiz, etc. So if you win the branch level, you will be selected for the regional level, and if you win the regional level, you will be selected for the national level. So इसमें ये भी होता है कि when you get selected for the regional level, you will be reimbursed all your travel or your accommodation, and again at the national level also you will be reimbursed accommodation, travel, and the experience that you get is something you will cherish throughout your articleship period or even after your articleship. So I had won the Bangalore branch level four times, twice in twice in chess, once in extempore and once in elocution. Or regional level में once I won the chess competition and I got selected for the national level. So the experience of the national level was surreal. Like I have not experienced anything like this. उन्होंने क्या किया था, that was the second time I'm going by flight all by myself, and my entire flight expense was reimbursed. My national event was in Udaipur. So in Udaipur, different people from different events, all for all of them ICAI had arranged a stay in a five-star resort. So all of them had come there and we were there for 3 days. We did jamming, we did networking, we had our competitions. So we got to interact with people from different states of the country. So this is the kind of experience you get if you get into national talent search and if you excel at it. But very few people know this. See, there are multiple advantages that you get out of national talent search. One thing is definitely the network. Second thing is free trips. You get to visit different parts of the country for free, and you really make friends. I have so many friends now, most of whom I had met during the IC National Talent Search, and we have grown really close now. So I credit a lot of things to ICAI National Talent Search because ICAI National Talent Search has given me friends, it has given me network, it has given me visibility, it has given me free trips, and hence I would recommend everyone to participate in ICAI National Talent Search. क्या होता है ना, in smaller branches, बैंगलोर में competition होता है, but in smaller branches, like very small branches, there will be three four participants, उसमें कोई एक जीत जाता है क्योंकि people are not even aware of anything. So I would suggest people to keep track of these things, and I think the best way to keep track of these things, one thing, you can definitely follow the Instagram page of your home branch, or you can follow the WhatsApp page of your home branch. But there are chances sometimes you are missing that also. So try to follow the ICA student journal. So ICA gives you student journal every month. So at the end of every month you get a student journal, and in that student journal you will get the details of all the upcoming conferences, all the upcoming ICA National Talent Search. So if you keep track of those things, then it will be easier for you to go and participate. Otherwise, you will never know when you miss an event. And after you finish your articleship, after you do your CA, you will not have all these opportunities. You cannot go back and participate in these events. तो मैंने जब participate किया था, I have taken full advantage of ICA events. क्या हुआ था? Many people were not aware. So when I started participating, they started asking me, "What is this? Where you are going? What are you doing?" And by the time they started asking, it was almost the end of the articleship and they had to focus on the CA finals. So most people actually regret that they could not do it because they did not have the knowledge. So when today we have many people who are trying to spread out the knowledge, I would suggest everyone to go and give it a try and see how it works. So I would suggest everyone to participate because in many branches, in many levels, the level of participation is less because not everyone is taking the advantage of the opportunities ICI is providing.
यस, इवन माय पब्लिक स्पीकिंग जर्नी स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम द ब्रांच लेवल आईसीआई इवेंट. तो मैंने पहली बार वहाँ पे पीपीटी प्रेजेंट किया था एंड दैट वाज सच ए टेरिबल मूवमेंट.
Actually, इसमें for ICAI National Talent Search, if you have enrolled with ICAI for CA Foundation or Intermediate or Articleship, Doesn't matter in which level you are, you can participate. So even if you're a foundation student, you can participate. I got to know about ICAI National Talent Search after 1 year of my articleship, and मैं देखता हूँ people are in foundation, intermediate, they're also participating. So I regret मैं 2-3 साल
पहले
मैंने
क्यों नहीं स्टार्ट
participate ही
किया?
नहीं किया.
सो ये काफ़ी अच्छी इंसाइट जो भी मिली है हमें इसके रिगार्डिंग। एंड इसके बाद में एक क्वेश्चन मैं आपसे पर्सनली ये पूछना चाहूँगा, इन सब के बीच में अगर कोई ऐसा कोई एक्सपीरियंस रहा हो जो आप शेयर करना चाहते हो, जिससे आपको बहुत ज़्यादा कुछ सीखने में को मिला हो, या किसी से आपका कोई ऐसा इंटरेक्शन रहा हो जिससे आपको बहुत कुछ सीखने को मिला है।
Okay, I would like to talk about my public speaking journey. तो क्या था, when I was a kid, my mother used to put me into all sorts of elocution competitions. तो मैंने बहुत कुछ elocution किया हुआ था in my childhood. उसके बाद I got into chess, and after I got into chess, I ignored public speaking and I was mostly into chess or studies. तो जब till intermediate मैंने public speaking उतना explore नहीं किया था. तो उसके बाद I presented in 2 conferences in financial year 24-25. After that, as I told in the beginning, मुझे I got the chance to become the vice president of the speakers forum. After that, I started regularly putting myself on the stage and presenting myself to people. So क्या हुआ, when I became the vice president, people call you as vice president of the SICASA speakers forum. तो मुझ में I had some performance pressure कि मैं I became the vice president, तो मुझे कुछ तो deliver करना पड़ेगा. इसके वजह से when I started speaking, it was mainly after a break. I had presented in 2 conferences. They were not that great. They were okay. उसके बाद when I joined SSF and I failed so badly. So it was the day of my investiture. जिस दिन you are called, you are named the vice president of SSF. And I was given a very small role in the meet. I had to speak about something and I messed it up so bad. There were 60, 70 odd people. That was the maximum participation we had. And in front of those people, I messed. And because of that, every other presentation, मेरा confidence निकल गया उसके बाद. I tried to become, I so I thought I will put myself on the stage again and again. Doesn't matter if I'm embarrassed. And I kept on doing that. So after that, there was a bank audit seminar in our branch, so I decided to do the MC for that. So उसमें क्या हुआ? I went on stage. I had a script ready, but at the last minute they changed the scripts. ऊपर का नीचे ये पहले बोलो ये पहले बोलो. So they did all that in my script. तो जब मैं script when I started I panicked. So first sentence was panic, and then the chief guest comes to the stage and he says, everything was smooth, but I think today's MCs needs more energy. I think it is the first time him coming and doing an MC. But that was not the first time. I had already presented 2 papers. I was the vice president of Speakers Forum, and all of these things were happening with me. And throughout that day, I had to carry that speech from the beginning till the end. तो सुबह से लेके शाम तक मुझे ही एमसी करना था. एंड आई वाज गेटिंग टॉन्ट फ्रॉम डिफरेंट पीपल कि किसको बुलाया है, ये क्या कर रहा है. तो दैट शुक एवरीथिंग आउट ऑफ मी. तो उसके बाद 3-4 times I went and presented. Every time it was a failure. Every time I used to judge myself so harshly. Uh, but something that I learned from this was confidence is everything. So एक बार confidence चला जाएगा, even if you're actually capable, if you're actually competent, you will not still perform because you're underconfident. So in situations like this, we should ensure that we put ourselves on the stage again and again, or you put yourself against the situation again and again. Don't think that
वॉट
uh,
अदर पीपल विल से अबाउट यू।
yeah, don't think what other people will say, because as 200 people have seen you, tomorrow maybe you become a big speaker or you become a big person and 2000 people see you. So it is important that you do well later. Today you're just learning. So be it your articleship or whatever phase of your articleship or your ICA events, doesn't matter. If you're not doing great, it's fine. Give yourself some time. Don't judge and don't quit. So when you keep trying, you will eventually figure it out. So initially I had many failures in front of a crowd of 200 people, 300 people. But my last paper presentation was at a national conference in front of a crowd of 1000 odd people, and I got the best paper presenter. And I feel that matters more than your early setbacks. That's completely fine. But it's important that you show yourself more and more in places where you feel uncomfortable. You face the discomfort That is when you can achieve greatness.
That was such a nice
और
experience.
एक another thing, another message I want to share to all those who are preparing for your exams. तो क्या होता है, nobody understands the pain of studying for CA exams, especially CA intermediate and CA final. So when we are studying for our exams, क्या होता है? People who are doing other courses, they don't know the struggle. They come to you and they feel you are studying all day, you're such a nerd. So when I was preparing for my intermediate, there were so many relatives who came to me, and they were not just relatives, neighbors. They would just say things casually like, "He's not. How much will you study? You don't know anything that is happening in your own hometown. तुम्हें ये भी नहीं पता कि तुम्हारे घर के बाहर क्या चल रहा है." They used to taunt like this. So I am someone who removed all distractions and decided to focus on my studies. And people are actually giving taunts to people who decided to leave everything and focus on their studies. So people are going to come and give you taunt whether you're going to focus on your career or whether you're not. So people are always interested to pull you down, and I suffered a lot because of that during my intermediate preparation. And I used to treat myself very badly. I used to look at my friends and say they are already doing their college, they are enjoying college. मैंने college नहीं किया था. So I always had that urge कि मुझे भी college करना है. I saw my friends enjoy all that, and then people did all this to me. So when I ultimately cleared my intermediate, I decided that I am going to do everything that I could not do in the past 1 year or so. So I decided I'll move out of my city for articleship. I came to Bangalore, and in Bangalore I tried to put myself through every ICAI event because I wanted to do something which I couldn't do during my articleship. So I had fun, I had events, I had networking, I had trips, I did all that, something which I could have never imagined during my intermediate phase. So, a message to all those who are preparing for intermediate or CA final: this is just a phase. Don't think your life is limited by that. You will never know. Life can surprise you in so many different ways. Just because one door is closed, just because you couldn't go to college, or just because something you couldn't clear in this attempt, doesn't mean your life is closed. Life has so many different ways of surprising you, something that you can not even imagine. तो मैंने अपना लाइफ जैसे देखा था ड्यूरिंग माई इंटरमीडिएट फेज, आई वॉज completely hopeless. I did not even think that I would enjoy life like the way I have done during my articleship. So you can definitely do a lot of things in your articleship or even post qualification. Don't judge yourself during this preparation phase.
फील कर सकता हूँ मैं क्या जो आपने बोला है एकदम। मुझे भी मोटिवेशन मिल गया इससे। सच में ऐसा ही होता है कि जब आप प्रिपेयर कर रहे होते हो तो सब ऐसे कहते हैं कि पूरे दिन पढ़ते ही रहते हो, कब इंजॉय करोगे। बट वो छोटा पीरियड होता है जितने में आपको मेहनत करनी होती है आई थिंक। एंड हमारी भी प्रोडक्टिव स्टडी जो होती है वो लास्ट के ही कुछ मंथ्स में होती है मेनली। थैंक यू, बहुत अच्छा लगा बात करके। आपको कैसा लगा, कैसा एक्सपीरियंस रहा?
हाँ, आई मीन ये शायद फोर्थ और फिफ्थ टाइम होगा व्हेन आई एम फेसिंग एन इंटरव्यू। तो जब कैजुअली बात करता हूँ तो फ्लो अलग ही निकलता है। जब मैं ऐसे सीरियस सिचुएशन में, व्हेन आई एम पुट अंडर दिस सीरियस सिचुएशन, तो वर्डिंग्स बिकम रिस्ट्रिक्टेड। तो मेरे दिमाग में बहुत कुछ है, मुझे बहुत कुछ बोलना है मुझे, बट मुझे एक्चुअली पता नहीं कि मैंने क्या क्या बोला है। तो इट इज पॉसिबल दैट मैंने इतना सोचा है बट इतना ही बोला है, क्योंकि आई माई थॉट्स एंड माई वर्ड्स couldn't match in this interview, in this podcast kind of environment. So I hope I was able to communicate whatever I wanted to. मे बी इन सम प्लेसेस मैंने लिंकिंग नहीं की ठीक से, क्योंकि मेरे माइंड में कुछ और चल रहा था और मैंने कुछ और बोल दिया। So I hope whatever I was trying to communicate, it has reached the people, and it was a really good experience. Thank you for having me.